I am love, 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 love. I am love, 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 love. Ooh. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, 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 joy. Ooh. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, 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 joy. I seek your peace. I seek your love. I seek your guidance and wisdom. Guide my path along. I am love, 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 love. I am love, 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 love. Ooh. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, 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 joy. Ooh. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, joy, joy. I am joy, 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 joy. I seek your peace. I seek your love. I seek your guidance and wisdom. Guide my path along.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
I am love.
To random listeners that I don't really know very well. Hope all is well and blessed. Trying to be anonymous up in this fish. So, much love, much love, much love, much love, much love. Right here, we're going to you know, I normally keep quiet about these things. There was a time when I spoke up a lot about this, and I think what it is I've become numb, but I do understand a ritual when I observe it, especially when I observe it so often, right? So the ritual of Black life, right? It's unfortunate that you feel it in your gut that there is not going to be justice served whenever you see a Black life taken, right? Because you just instinctively know, although you hope differently, you want something different to be the outcome, but you instinctively know that the system is going to replay the same record over and over and over and over again, right? And it's sad, but that's the dynamic of being Black in America. It is the unfortunate truth. It is the ugly reality. It is just the existence that we have to face while we are here. And so, and then to me, honestly, what it seems like is a blood sacrifice. Now, I'm not saying that the people doing it are into the metaphysics and all of that, but I do have to say that's what it looks like when I watch these cases over and over and over. And then not to say for the unknown brothers and sisters that passed away, the so-called hangings that occur in the South and all these other places, like people are just randomly going up light poles and jumping off of the light pole to hang themselves, or going into the distance in the forest or into the woods to go hang themselves because they're sad and depressed. It looks like structured actions. It sounds like cover-ups to consistent behavior, especially when it happens over and over and over again. And I just have to say, this seems like ritual sacrifice. And then, you know, what it could be is that in the past, you've heard of epigenetics, right? I know you've heard of epigenetics, like the conditioning of the body and the mind to along a certain pathway over the course of generations, after each generation has engaged in either a type of behavior or has engaged in a type of behavior for so long, right? And so what I'm saying is this country epigenetically is programmed to kill Black life. That's what it seems like. I mean, we've all seen the pictures of hundreds of of people gathered around a black body that was hung, right? And burned, so to speak, right? We've all seen those. And I don't know about all of us, but a lot of us have seen those pictures. A lot of us have seen those pictures, right? And so that's, and then I just have to say it is seemingly like this is a ritual of sacrifice. All right, I went back to self. Give me one moment as I'm trying to get something together. Let me go back on this joint.
I seek your peace, I seek your love, I seek your guidance and wisdom, guide my path along I am love, 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 love. I am love, 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 love. I am joy, joy, I am joy, I am.
All right, here we go. I'm back together now. So let's get this going, right? So this isn't a neutral presentation, right? So I'm gonna say things here that you're not gonna appreciate, you're not gonna like, you're not gonna want to hear, and that's just the way it goes. But it's what I see. Like I said earlier, it seems like a ritual of Black life, right? So lately, like, this hasn't even been this hasn't even been like a few months apart. This is all happening simultaneously, and I was really trying, not even trying. I was doing my own thing. I was living my life, right? And so, but it was always around. I was hearing it. It's not like I wasn't paying attention, but I gotta say something about it, right? 2 verdicts, same country, same flag, right? And what happened? It was the ritual of Black life, the taking of Black life, right? I'm not even understanding what happened in the Carmelo case. I haven't been following it as well as I should have been. But the outcome is still the same, and the impact is still the same, right? So, and this is also showing me that the system is still the same. The system is performing like the system should be performing. So let's look at what we know about Carmelo Anthony. 17. Carmelo Anthony is 17 years old, not an adult. Number one, he is not an adult, right? It happened in Frisco, Texas, track bleachers, right? The murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. It was self-defense, right? So he was getting jumped, but he was tried as an adult under Texas law, although he was a minor. Tried as an adult, although he was a minor, found guilty and given 35 years. As a child, he's still a child. No chance at redemption, no narratives about how can we reform this child, being given 35 years, right? Next is Cyrus Carmack, right? 14 years old. This was in Richland County, South Carolina, at a Shell gas station, accused of taking a bottle of water. The owner chased him for 130 yards and shot him in the back. And the shooter was Shakai Rick Cho, 61, charged with murder, but acquitted because they said that his fear was reasonable. Although he chased him with a gun over a bottle of water. So here we go. The sacrifice of black life. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I see, right? This is the sacrifice here. Carmelo Anthony thrown into jail for what will be the most productive years of his life. Not saying that when he gets out, he still won't have a chance to achieve and accomplish. But damn, 35 years. He will be in his 50s when he gets out. He'll spend his 20s, a large part of his formative years, behind bars in a small cell. Right? That's his fate. Then let's look at Rick Cho, what this person's done. He shot a child in the back after chasing him for 130 yards over a bottle of water. And they deemed his fear reasonable, and he was dismissed. So we watched again the sacrifice of black life, the taking of black life. In one instance, the most productive years of a man's life. In another instance, the life in general. And the system is operating as it was designed to. It almost seems as if though this has to occur. Like this must be a ritual, some sort of psychological feeling that must occur in reference to the taking of black life. That's what it appears like is happening, right? Because this is what we get. This is what we see. Neely Fuller wrote in the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept Workbook for Victims of White Supremacy that we will continue to see this. And he outlined the Ultimate Compensatory Act has something to be done in order to alleviate this, but we won't discuss that right now. Right? So what am I saying when I say ritual? Right? There seems to be a national ritual that takes place as if though black life is guilty just by existence itself. There's some sort of appeasement that occurs in the consciousness of the nation with the destruction of black life, as if though it is justified regardless of how it is done. And this has been the case ever since we've been free. You've had the black codes and the vagrancy laws, which criminalized black freedom, and then the beginning of re-enslaving black life through convict leasing from the 1900s, really up until now, but seriously 1900s to 1960s. You had lynching and terror, which normalized. That was what I was talking about when I was asking, do you remember that picture of the hanging man with the thousands and hundreds of people around him just watching this ceremony, right? And then you have COINTELPRO, mass incarceration, where the state systematically dismantled black. When we say black liberation movements, really we're just talking about black pride. Not the current pride that's out there, but just taking control of your community and watching out for it, right? That's really what was going on when they say black liberation movements. They were asking to be treated fairly, equally, and justly as fellow human beings occupying the same time and space as other human beings, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the same time and space as other human beings, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at life, liberty, and freedom, and to be given the equal chance at that everybody else has been given? Why is it that we have to suffer because of the color of our skin? Why is it that we have to be attacked constantly because of the color of our skin? Why is it that we have to be defined by others' narratives about who we are? Part of it is we help that definition by giving in to what they give to us. But why, right? Anyway, then we got you stand your ground in policing modern day, right? We got white on black homicide, rule justified versus black on white violence, right? 130 yards. That's what Chow chased Cyrus before firing. He chased him to shoot him like a gang, like he was a gang member. Carmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old boy, receiving 35 years for defending himself. Now, fear right here is the currency. And there's a racial imagination related to black skin, right? Blackness is threat. Black skin automatically gives reason for elimination. And Dr. Francis Cress Welsing in the Cress theory of color confrontation described it the best. We are seen as threats because we carry within us the ability of genetic dominance. That's why we are seen as threats. And the elimination of black life is necessary for the continuation of other life. That's what it seems. And so black life is criminalized. And by thus criminalizing black life, the taking of black life becomes justified. All right. So let's look at the fear. Fear as the rationale for judgment, right? Now, whose fear did the law believe? Child's fear was accepted. An adult chased a child 130 yards. The child was running, not turning around for confrontation, but running away. But the jury accepted reasonable fear, right? Black teen, permanent threat. His life, not protectable, right? Now, Carmelo Anthony, a teen in a fight, claimed self-defense. The jury rejected that outright, although he was getting jumped. Jury rejected self-defense. Black fear, in order to be, black fear is not a legal argument, right? His fear is equal to being provoked. His body is not legally worth protecting. But Cho's fear, his life, is legally protectable. Who gets to stay a child, right? Black youth are not extended innocence. They are, in the racial imagination, a criminal, someone of suspicion, and always a threat, right? The law only sees a child when the child is not black. Cyrus Carmack Belton was 14, but the trial was on whether the killer's fear was reasonable, not the child's right to live. It's always, was the killer's fear reasonable? That reminds me of that case down in Florida where the man took the child's life because the white man felt the black boy didn't belong there. I forget the name. It'll come to me in a second. Right? It's a language game. It's definitely a language game. And that's how the sacrifice is prepared, right? Cyrus Carmack Belton, teen with a gun, He's a threat. He is a suspect before he is a victim. The fact that there was a gun, it was mentioned in every sentence. His body was weaponized before death. Although he was running away, not engaged in conflict, he was a weapon before death, right? Carmelo Anthony was framed as an adult. Although he was a child, a minor, he was a murderer before he was a kid, a child. No mention of it being a school fight. And then no mention of rehabilitation at all. Just take life. Take black life. That's all. I've been witnessing the taking of black life for so long. So the jury didn't find Cho not guilty only. They said the child's life was expendable. That seems to be the song that's always played. Black life is expendable. Black life is expendable. Black life taken without care. All the time. All the time. Once in a while, there seems to be some justice given, but black life always seems to be expendable, justified in its taking, which makes being a black man in America very difficult, very tedious, very stressful, honestly, when you're driving through America, right? So what does the nation receive, right? So when non-black fear of blackness is deemed legally legitimate, every community is told that your fear of the black man is real, rational, and judicially backed. Don't worry about taking black life because it is a national pastime almost to take black life. It is the national ritual that the people are engaged in. And black women, black mothers, black fathers, your black child's life is revocable and is contingent on whoever fears them. Over and over and over and over and over again, this is what we see. In blackness, black people, we cannot be legally afraid. For us to be afraid is not a legal argument. Only the fear of black people is judicially accepted. It is okay to take black life if you fear the black man. It is okay to be violent towards blackness, regardless of the rationality of the fear that you have. Sacrifice black life. The pattern is the point. And I think it's the pattern that I've been responding to. And I don't act surprised because I see the system doing what the system has always been doing. And maybe that might be my problem. Because since I have been conscious and aware of it, the system has not changed. It's always produced exactly what it's been doing. It's not malfunctioning. It's always doing what it's done. Right? There's a maintenance of racial consciousness here. There's a maintenance of racial consciousness. There's a maintenance of inequality that is felt in the black community in reference to getting justice for the taking of black life. Right? There's a racial imagination held by the nation about the black presence. Blackness equals threat, right? The non-black person's fear of blackness is reasonable. This is what you have to understand. This is what I understand. But passivity, it's not right, right? I'm observing it, and I know 100% I'm aware of its ability to occur and happen to me as well, you know. And it's unfortunate because I know not all people act this way, but there is enough of them, and enough of them with power and enough of them that excuse the behavior where it almost makes that other percentage negligible. Right? So Bell Hooks talked about this. Black life must be named as lovable before the killing stops. We must show the humanity of Black life. Right? This is what I see though. Another ritual being engaged in. And so a lot of times people say, how did this happen? When, for me, I think we should say, at what point does a nation that keeps building these altars get held accountable for the body that's on them? Right? What would our system look like if it refused to sacrifice Black life? Right? What policies, what structures, what redesigns would have to happen? Right? And then how is the current arrangement profiting people? These are the things that we have to have asked. All right, I was here long enough. But that is just a small take on what I think about this. This is a continuing ritual sacrifice. All right, truth, light, love, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Peace, peace.